Hey everyone, Rich Gasaway here. Holy cow, am I excited. In just a little over a week, I'm going to be hosting my first ever virtual live training event. It's going to be on Tuesday, September 26th. You might have heard me mention in some previous episodes that September 26th is National Situational Awareness Day. And I wanted to do something big on that day. So I came up with the idea to do a live, 2-hour, web-based training program on situational awareness. This is going to be the same content that your company or agency or organization would get if you hosted me live for an event, but at a fraction of the cost of a live event. It's a wonderful opportunity to get your employees dialed in on the importance of situational awareness. Attendees will learn the essentials of how to develop and maintain situational awareness while working in high-risk, high-consequence environments. The program will share a 3-step process for developing situational awareness and offer best practices for how to make accurate predictions of future events in time to avoid bad outcomes. The training will be followed by a live question and answer session with me. Again, the program contains the same content that your employees would get if you hosted a live classroom event, except it'll be at a fraction of the cost. It'll still be me live, followed by live Q&A. Tuesday, September 26th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And then you can back your time zones off or add your time zones from there, 11 to 1 Eastern Time. For more information or to register, visit samatters.com/live. To accommodate adequate time for questions and answers at the end of the training, the event is going to be limited to the number of people who can register. Folks, this event is filling up and is already at near capacity right now. If you want to register, register now. If you get an email that says you've been waitlisted, you'll get notified if someone cancels. And I'm sorry if you get waitlisted, but that's what happens. And to be completely honest, I'm not sure if and when I'll do an event like this again. We'll just see how this one goes, and then we'll take it from there. All right, that's enough of the pre-show stuff. Roll that podcast intro. Today's episode is sponsored by Midwest Fire. For more than 20 years, Midwest Fire has been manufacturing high-quality tankers, tanker pumpers, and fire rescue vehicles in the United States and Canada. Keeping firefighters safe while enhancing their capabilities is what they do best. To learn more, go to MidwestFire.com.
This is Captain Jimmy Troy from the Henrico Fire Department. You're listening to SA Matters radio show with Dr. Richard Gasaway. The SA Matters mission is simple. They want to help us see bad things coming in time to avoid bad outcomes.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 178 of the Situational Awareness Matters radio show. I'm your host, Rich Gasaway. The purpose of this show is to improve situational awareness and decision-making for individuals and teams who work in high-risk, high-consequence, time-compressed environments with changing conditions. The SA Matters mission is simple, to help you see the bad things coming and time to avoid bad outcomes. Did you know that I've been sharing this message of situational awareness and high-risk decision-making at live program events for 12 years now? And have trained just over 59,000 students, including first responders, industrial workers, military personnel, business leaders, medical professionals, utility workers, aviation workers, and more. Really, this message is for anyone who works in environments that are high risk and high consequence. If you or someone you know could benefit from training on situational awareness and high-risk decision-making, ask them to reach out to me by visiting samatters.com, clicking on the Contact Us tab. If you're new to this podcast, you got some homework to do. You really do. By going back and listening to past episodes. I've released a new episode every Tuesday. Never missed a week for over 3 years. No other podcast focused on improving worker safety even comes close to that track record. And I do this for you. You, the listener. You inspire me. Let me say this. I'm here for the long run. And for so long as I'm able, I'll continue to share this message. A message of hope, a message of inspiration, a message of encouragement for everyone who works in high-risk environments. I want to make sure you know how to develop and maintain strong situational awareness, and you know how to make quality, high-risk decisions. I'm dedicated to improving your safety and your survival and to helping you accomplish the most important goal of all. It's always the most important goal of all, to go home to the ones who love you. And speaking of sharing the message, I'm coming to you today from Henrico County, Virginia, where I'm in town to deliver 2 days of situational awareness training for the Henrico County Fire Department and for others throughout the region. I'm still amazed with the 2 programs I did a couple weeks ago in Evansville, Indiana. I just can't stop talking about the amazing job that Fire Chief Mike Conley did in getting sponsors for his event. From Chief Conley's efforts, this 2-day program cost his department nothing. $0. That's right. Nothing. Sponsors paid for everything. I tell departments all the time that they can host great training events, mine or someone else's, and do it with getting sponsors. Usually this suggestion is met with some skepticism, but not in Chief Conley's case. No, what he did is say to me, show me how to do it, and I did. And he went out and he asked for sponsors, and he told me that getting sponsors really wasn't that difficult. Sponsors for the Evansville program included Vectern, that's their gas and electric company, serving Evansville and other areas of Indiana. Gas and electric companies are great sponsors for safety training because they work so closely with first responders, and their employees can use the safety training as well. Deaconess Hospital stepped up and was a sponsor. They're a great sponsor too because hospital workers need training on situational awareness. University of Southern Indiana stepped up and sponsored. Universities are great hosts too because they like to be involved in their communities, giving back, and campus safety and security personnel were able to attend the program. You see how this is working, right? Other sponsors included Evansville Firefighters Credit Union, Old National Bank, Global Emergency Products, Hoosier Fire Equipment, Mission Barbecue, Public Safety Medical, and Siegel's Uniforms. And all Chief Conley was able to raise, are you ready for this? $15,000. That funded the program, a situational awareness book for every attendee, paid for the venue, and provided lunches for all the attendees for both days. And he had money left over as seed money for another training that he can do in the future. I tell departments with limited budgets all the time that this is the way to go. And it is. If you want to host a program but you have limited resources, contact me and I'll help you do what Evansville did. Host a program that costs your department nothing. Where the will is strong, a way can be found. And folks, this training, it's a game changer. It is. How do I know? Because the attendees tell me all the time. During the programs, during breaks, when the program is done, they send me emails, they post on my social media, they post on their social media. Just pay attention and you'll see what all the hype is about. Understanding how to develop and maintain situational awareness can truly save your life. There is no simpler way to say it. One of the questions I get asked a lot by readers of the blog and listeners to the podcast are, when are you coming to my area? I want to attend a program. Or where are you going to be next? Great questions, and I've made the answer really easy to find out. I've created a link on my homepage of the website for the upcoming events. All you have to do is click on the blue box on the right side of the homepage labeled Upcoming Events Schedule. I'm sorry, Rich, which box was that? It's the blue one. The blue one, yep, right over there. Look, on the right side, on the homepage. SAMatters.com, that blue box. It says Upcoming Event Schedule. Just click on it. Here's something else you might want to know. If you want to save some money hosting a program, and seriously, who doesn't want to save some money, right? You can host a program at a reduced cost. If you've been listening to this podcast a while, you've heard me mention companion programs. Companion programs are programs I do on adjoining days. So if you see I'm delivering a program within a few hours of where you are, and you want to be a companion, contact me. You could save as much as 20% off your program costs for being a companion. And I've done over 100 of these companion programs. No one's ever complained about saving money being a companion. That's what I call a true win-win situation. Okay, in today's feature segment, I'm going to explore tunnel vision and the impact it can have on the formation of situational awareness. And when I'm done with the feature segment, stick around and I'll tell you how you can attend an upcoming Situational Awareness Matters tour stop event. Who knows, maybe I'm going to be right in your state or in your neighboring county soon. When it comes to developing and maintaining situational awareness, tunnel vision is a big deal. Situational awareness is developed by having a broad perception of the environment in which you are operating. As your focus narrows, you start to miss things. Those missed things are like lost puzzle pieces, leaving holes in your understanding of what is happening. Thus, situational awareness can be impacted. Tunnel vision. Tunnel vision is defined as one's tendency to focus on a single goal or a single point of view. The more important the goal, or the more threatening a stimuli is perceived to be, the more likely a person is to focus attention on it. In jobs where individuals and teams work in goal-driven, high-risk environments, tunnel vision can have a detrimental impact on personal safety. Beyond vision. While tunnel vision can limit perception, it can also have a debilitating effect on hearing. From the perspective of brain science, this makes sense. Let me explain. There is a tight connection between the audible and visual processors in your brain. When audible messages come in, they are processed in the audible cortex. They are then packaged up and sent off to the visual cortex. There, they are formed into images. You already know this because you've probably witnessed someone saying in a conversation, "I see what you're saying," or "I see what you mean," or maybe you've said to someone, "Do you see what I mean when I'm saying this?" after giving a verbal explanation to something. Double duty. The visual cortex in your brain has to do double duty. It has to process the visual information sent by the eyes, and it has to process the audible information sent by the ears. The problem is there's only so much capacity in that processor, and when it reaches its max, something has to give. What gives depends on what the person is paying attention to. If you're highly focused on a visual stimuli, your visual cortex may not process your audible messages. The result is you don't hear something. This is sometimes referred to as auditory exclusion. Let me explain it by using an analogy. Think of your visual processor as the checkout counter at a busy supermarket. At the counter is a very needy customer. I trust we've all been in line behind this person at some point in our lives. This needy customer causes the clerk to focus all of their attention on that customer. Much the same thing happens when the brain focuses on a single piece of visual information. All of the brain's attention is consumed on that focus. Then, up to the counter rolls another customer. This customer cannot get waited on because the first customer is so needy and time-consuming. In a fit of frustration, the second customer storms out of the store, leaving all of their groceries in a basket, vowing to never return. In this instance, the second customer is a piece of audible information trying to get serviced by the checkout clerk, the visual processor. This is exactly what happens when a piece of auditory information cannot make its way into the visual processor of the brain. When it can't get in, it leaves and never returns, and thus auditory exclusion occurs. The person does not hear what is said. The only way the store is going to make the sale is if the customer decides to return later. In the case of excluded audible information, the only way the brain is going to hear the message is if the sender decides to repeat the message. Now let's reverse the process. The needy customer at the checkout counter is now representative of audible information, and the customer waiting in line is representative of visual information. The visual information cannot get processed because the audible information is consuming all of the resources. Thus, the person is unable to see the clue. There is one minor variation to what happens when visual information is denied entry into the processor. It doesn't leave the store in a fit of rage. Rather, it just goes and does some more shopping and comes back later when the checkout clerk is free. Once the needy customer is gone, the visual information can easily stroll back to the counter and be processed. This stroll to the counter comes in the way of continually scanning your visual environment. When the visual clue gets seen again, the counter clerk is not tied up and the information can get processed. Visual and audible information processing are done very differently. Signs of tunnel vision. It may be difficult to recognize you're suffering from tunnel vision because you may be unaware of what you're not hearing and what you're not seeing. Recognizing that you're suffering from tunnel vision is an important step to working your way out of it. Some common signs for tunnel vision include having an intense focus on a visual stimuli that results in screening out of peripheral sights and sounds. Displaying irritation with anyone or anything that interrupts your narrow focus. Being rigid and unwilling to accept suggestions to change your action plan. Refusing offers for assistance, including offers to lighten up your workload. Being reluctant to take breaks from your work. Confusion with what is going on around you because you're not seeing or hearing the entire message, but only part of it. Being told things by others that don't make sense. When it comes to tunneled senses, the advice that I can offer is fairly limited because the phenomena is not under your conscious control. In other words, you can focus your attention on visual and audible stimulation without realizing it and spend a long time in that position of focus without knowing it. The best advice I can offer is to use your conscious brain to counteract the known effects of your subconscious brain. This is accomplished by first having an awareness of your vulnerabilities. That is the intent of this podcast. And second, by focusing yourself consciously on recognizing the signs listed above and by counteracting them by imposing behavioral changes to help broaden your perspective and your view and your vision. For example, when finding yourself intensely focused on a visual stimuli, audible stimuli, or the task, force yourself to back away, if only momentarily, and take in the broader surroundings. If interrupted, make a note of where you left off at that point so that you can deal with the interruption. Then you can get back to the task. When facing a recommendation to take a different course of action, force yourself to pause and give consideration to the validity of changing your course. When offered assistance, see it as a way to help prevent being overwhelmed and having your senses tunneled, and freely accept the help. Take frequent mental breaks, even if they are short. If you are confused, seek clarification from credible sources. Avoid filling in the unknown information with assumptions. When receiving information that does not make sense, assume there's more information you have missed and seek clarification or go in a search for more information. If you've experienced or witnessed a near miss in your work environment and would like to have a platform to share your lessons learned with others, please contact me by visiting the SAMatters.com website and clicking on the Contact Us link on the top of the homepage. Think about it for a minute. The lessons learned from your worksite near miss event could save someone's life. That's really powerful. If you want to share your experience, contact me. If you want to send me some feedback, I'd love to hear from you. Just go to the SA Matters website, click on the Contact Us tab, and that'll shoot me an email. Or you can send me a message on Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. Okay, as I always do, I want to take a moment to thank the companies, organizations, and agencies that have hosted some great training for their employees on situational awareness. I do this to show my appreciation to those who put forth the effort to organize, advertise, and fund great training experiences for their members. Recent programs have included the NASA Glenn Research Center in Cleveland, Ohio, the Tennessee Safety and Health Conference in Nashville, and the program I did in Evansville, Indiana that I mentioned earlier. I also did a program in Redmond, Washington, and Lexington County, South Carolina. I was supposed to do a program in Houston, Texas on August 26th and 27th, but the program host contacted me to postpone it due to Hurricane Harvey reaching landfall the second day I was supposed to be there. I surely did not resist the opportunity to reschedule that program. And as you know, as a result, Hurricane Harvey has devastated Houston, and I would encourage you to pick your favorite charity and make a contribution to help the people of that great city. I know a lot of first responders in the Houston area, and I've been in contact with a lot of them, and that region is definitely hurting. And do your part, step up, and help out as you best feel works for you. I'm very thankful to some presentation opportunities I have on the horizon. And if you want to join me for an upcoming event, well, I just finished an event at Chesapeake, Virginia. I should have mentioned that. And right now I'm in Richmond, Virginia for Henrico County. Then September 18, 19, Topeka, Kansas. September 20, Kansas City. September 21, Davis, California. September 27th, Dallas, Texas. And for the month of October, I'm going international with programs in Australia, October 3rd in Sydney, October 4 in Melbourne, October 5 and 6 in Perth. Then I'm going to New Zealand for programs, October 9 in Christchurch, October 10 in Wellington, October 11 and 12 in Auckland. And then I'm going to the Netherlands for programs October 16, 17, and 18 in Amsterdam. And finally, 3 programs in Belgium on October 23, 24, and 25 in Antwerp. If you're keeping count, that was 14 programs and 77 flight hours in 28 days. This is the craziest Situational Awareness Matters tour I've ever orchestrated. If you want to see the locations of the upcoming Situational Awareness Matters tour stops, head over to the SA Matters website, click that blue box on the right side of the homepage labeled Upcoming Event Schedule. Just know the schedule is always changing, so check back often. And if you're interested in hosting a program, I still have a few dates left in November and December, and actively booking for 2018 now. So if your company, agency, association, regional conference, state conference, national conference might want to host a program, just contact me on the website, click the Contact Us tab, samatters.com. We'll get something set up for you. I have great staff. They'll make the whole process easy for you, I promise. The last time I was delivering programs in southwest Minnesota, I stopped to visit the sponsor of this podcast show, Midwest Fire. Midwest Fire is a fire truck manufacturing company that makes amazing all-poly-bodied fire apparatus, and it's changing the industry. If you haven't checked them out, you need to. Just go to MidwestFire.com. That's MidwestFire.com. Anyhow, while I was there, I got a chance to sit down and talk to some of their employees about what separates Midwest Fire from their competitors. Here, I got a chance to ask account executive Dalton Lingbeck about the Create a Spec feature. Let's listen in. All right, Dalton. So, a lot of the people who attend my programs are volunteer firefighters who have full-time jobs and full-time lives and raising their kids and working second jobs and doing the fire department, and clearly their time is stretched. So how, if they had an interest in a Midwest Fire apparatus, how do they reach you, and what's the process? I mean, how difficult is this? How much time is this going to take if they want to learn more about how to build a Midwest Fire truck?
Well, that's a good question. We try and make it as easy as possible because a lot of our customers, if not the majority of our customers, are volunteer firefighters, and they do have a hard time of finding time in a day to reach out to us. So if you ever go to our website and you're searching around and you really want to talk to us but you just can't get on the phone, we have a couple ways of doing this. The first part is we actually have a call request button where you can go on there, you can click on it, you can tell us when and what number to call you on at the best time. That's really easy for us to reach out at the moment you want us to, when you're best available. The second thing is we do a Create a Spec. So on our website, you can actually click a button that's called create a spec, and you can build the truck that you are trying to spec out. And what that does, it doesn't give you the full truck, it doesn't give you a price, but it sends us a specification in-house. So what we can do with that is we can have your information to call you with, but before that, we have a spec in hand. We can make notes. We can start developing some ideas. So when we call you, it's an efficient call. It doesn't take up a lot of your time, and it's in the right moment.
And this creative spec, is there like drop-down options? Like, you know, I'm guessing, like when I purchased fire trucks, sometimes I didn't even know what I wanted, and sometimes I didn't even know the options of what were available. So is this kind of talk me through, you know, the different decisions that need to be made in developing a spec? Because I would guess that there are people out there that would be scratching their head saying, I'm not really sure that I know what I need or want. So how does this, how interactive is this in walking you through this?
Well, it's a page-by-page process. So we kind of start out with the size of your truck, and we go on to different options. We try to make it as simple as possible for you to get the point across. Basically, what it does is, like I said, it's a page-by-page process. You choose your options. We lead you in the direction that you need to go. So it's not one big page of just a bunch of stuff that you need to choose.
Okay. But there are options listed there to be able to choose from.
Yeah, but you're not writing anything out. There are comment boxes where you can write little comments if you need to, but we give you the options, little drop-down, little check boxes.
Are you, on this creative spec, are you getting as specific as to say, I want this first compartment to be so many inches wide by so many inches tall by so many inches deep? Are they getting that in depth in the creative spec, or is it something that's just a little simpler that allows them to do kind of like a high level description of what they want in a truck?
It's a little simpler. It's more of a high level idea. When it comes to compartment sizes, that's more for engineering to figure out. But you can, like I said, in the comment boxes, there are sections where you can say, I want high side compartments, I want full height compartments on this side. There's a lot of options for you to choose that.
Okay, so to go to MidwestFire.com, and then on there is a create a spec tab or link.
Yep, you'll see one on the top right corner, and if you scroll down the main page, you'll see one underneath our video. There's plenty of options for you to find it. It's just here to catch your eye, and when you see some trucks on our website that you like, feel free to fill one out.
Yep, there you go. Go to MidwestFire.com, check out Create a Spec, and see how easy it is to build a truck and then have a follow-up consultation about your needs. Thank you, Midwest Fire President Sarah Atchison and all your staff for your awesome commitment to improving the safety of first responders. I really appreciate your support of my mission. Hey, if you're not part of the SA Matters community of learners yet, what are you waiting on? There are over 9,000 connected here on SA Matters, sharing ideas about how to improve situational awareness, how to make better decisions under stress, and how to train employees to be critical thinkers and resilient problem solvers. And joining is free. Joining also gets you my monthly email newsletter that contains featured content from the blog and the podcast. It really is the best way for us to stay in touch with each other. The most simplest way for you to join is to get out your smartphone and text SA Matters to 22828. That's S as in Sam, A as in Adam, and the word matters. All put together, SA Matters to 22828. You'll get a message back on your phone about getting access to my program handouts, because I use this in my live events to give the students access to the program handouts. So you'll get to see the program handouts if you want to, but I'll also sign you up for the newsletter. Just consider the program handouts a bonus content for signing up. You'll get to see what is being taught in live events. If you want to get connected with me on Twitter, you can follow @RichGasaway on Twitter. And thanks to the 17,000-ish people who are connected with me on Twitter. If you want to get connected with me on LinkedIn, you can search Rich Gasaway, and thanks to the 9,000 that are connected with me on LinkedIn. If you want to watch my videos, you can go to the SA Matters YouTube channel. SA Matters TV is what that is, all put together, one word, SA Matters TV, no spaces in there, on YouTube. Over 500,000 downloads to the videos there. On Facebook, you can like the SA Matters page on Facebook, and there are about 3,000 people there. We might be wondering, why so many platforms? The blog, the podcast, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, the online academy, the live virtual events, the books, the videos, the actual classroom events. Oh my. Why so many ways to get the information out? It's simple. I know that not everyone consumes their content the same way, on the same platform, and I'm trying to reach as many people as I can on whatever platform they prefer most. Well, that's it. Episode 178 is complete. Thank you to our awesome podcast sponsor, Midwest Fire. Thank you to all of the companies and agencies and organizations that have hosted live classroom events. Thank you to all those signed up for the virtual live training event on September 26th. Thank you to the more than 800 online academy students. And most importantly, thank you, the listeners of the podcast show, for sharing some of your valuable time with me today. I really do appreciate your support of the SA Matters mission. Be safe out there, and may the peace of the Lord and strong situational awareness be with you always.
You've been listening to the Situational Awareness Matters radio show with Dr. Richard B. Gasaway. If you are interested in learning more about situational awareness, human factors, and decision-making under stress, visit samatters.com. If you are interested in booking Dr. Gasaway for an upcoming event, visit his personal website at richgasaway.com.